Hey, it's Erin, and today is back day. After objectively looking at my pictures from my contest, I decided that I need to build a little bit of size and width in my upper back. And I think a lot of people, whether you compete or not, could use a little bit of size in the upper back. Not only does it make the physique look a lot more impressive, it balances the body from upper body to lower body, also makes the waist look smaller. So these exercises today are geared towards building that upper back and creating the superhero physique. We're going to start with straight sets, and then towards the end work into some supersets, and then we're going to do a little bit of sled work. Let's get into it. The first exercise is a bent over barbell row. I love doing free weight rows because you can adjust your angles and adjust your grips to hit different parts of the back. So here I'm standing with my upper body at about a 60-degree angle from the ground, and I'm using an underhand grip. This higher angle is going to help me hit higher up on my back. So I'm targeting my upper lats and my rear delts just a little bit. And I'm using a mid-rep pause. Mid-rep pause is great because, of course, I can't see my lats working. I have to feel them, and that pause helps me know that I'm engaging or helps me reconnect with the lats. And this weight should be very difficult for the last 1 to 2 reps, and I should be able to do it without momentum and without using the traps. So if you feel like you're starting to use momentum or starting to recruit other muscle groups, go down in weight and do more of a mid-rep pause. Really control that negative portion of the rep, because that's where a lot of the growth and change happens. Or onto a neutral grip lat pull down. And this is also 5 sets of 8, and I'm trying to lift just about my body weight. You'll notice I lean back slightly and I'm pulling a little bit higher. And again, the higher angle is going to hit higher up on the lats, trying to build width and depth in the upper back. So you can build width across your upper back, but you have to build that depth too. Otherwise it looks kind of, you look kind of gaunt when you build everything out. So here, this is working on building that depth. And the neutral grip is going to help to eliminate my biceps. Rotating the shoulder blades back and down is going to help keep the traps out of the equation. With any pulling exercise, think about from your hand to your elbow as simply anchoring the weight and pull through your elbows. So I'm just basically ignoring my forearms and my hand, and I'm pulling through the elbows, keeping my elbows at my side. So that was it for the straight sets. Now on to compound sets. And this one is going to be using cables. This is a lunge stance cable row. And then I'm going to pair that with a straight arm push down. And 4 sets of 10 with about 45 seconds in between. So you're getting the muscle benefits of lifting weight and the cardio benefits of compound sets. So here, opposite arm, opposite leg. And I'm keeping that shoulder blade locked down, so I'm not using my traps. Varying my stance for the other arm. And make sure when you're doing your unilateral training that you're keeping you're training your body the same way on both sides. A lot of times we'll tend to shear or twist a little bit on the weaker side, and I notice I do that on my left side. So really be aware when you're doing the unilateral training. And I think it's a great way to make sure you're building both sides evenly and make sure you're performing the reps equally on both sides as far as the number of reps. So here, this is a straight arm pull down. This is that unilateral variation of a cable push down. And you'll notice that I'm keeping my arm slightly bent and slightly bent throughout. A lot of times we'll have a tendency of bending the arms, and that's going to recruit a lot of triceps. And here the tricep should just be stabilizing, and this is going to work kind of right under the armpit or the upper lat. And it's really just beautiful when it's developed because it gives you that extra width across your upper back, makes your waist look even smaller. And you'll notice that I'm doing a staggered stance. I'm leaning forward, and the leaning forward is going to help take the shoulder out of the equation. It's also going to help you work more of the upper lat and less of the lower lat. And you have to look at where your muscles connect. If your muscles connect in your lats, if they connect really low, you don't necessarily want to develop your lower lats because it's going to make your waist look bigger. So, and I know my lat insertion point is a little bit low, so I like to really focus on more the upper lats because I don't want my waist to look any bigger. Now, this is one of those old school bodybuilding moves, and you don't see it too often because people say that it's not good for you. But I've found that if you keep the weight light, utilize that mid-rep pause, and do probably 2/3 of the movement. So don't extend your arms all the way up. You should be okay. Something that I like to think about when I'm pulling down is I try to make my elbows touch in the back. Now, obviously, I'm not going to make that happen, but if you do that, if you visualize that, then you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together. You're really going to work those rhomboids, and you're really going to build some lovely definition in the upper back. And that's kind of what we're looking for, is all around width, depth, and the definition, which it looks beautiful when everything is developed. So 4 sets of 10 here, and this is a compound set. So I'm going to do the pull down, and I'm combining it with a high face pull. And the high face pull, I'm going super light with this, probably about 40 pounds. And I'm thinking about squeezing my shoulder blades together mid-rep. This is going to work those rhomboids. It's going to work the rear delts. Do a lot of rear delt work with back, because rear delts are absolutely beautiful when they're developed. And I think a lot of times they're neglected because they're such a small muscle. Because they're a small muscle, you have to make sure to go pretty light on these. If you go heavy, then there's a tendency of dropping the elbow, and then your lats take over. And then on to some sled work. Okay, so this is the HIIT training after back day. 6 sets of 25 meters with a sled. And the sled's about 45 pounds, and then there's a 45 on each side. So the goal is to get the heart rate up to 80% of the max, which is 220 minus age. And then recovery in between these is about 2 to 4 minutes. It just kind of depends on how quickly you can get your heart rate back down to 60% of your max. So, and these things, the intervals or sprints, have a cumulative effect. So you might notice that after the first or second one, you're fine. But after the 5th or 6th one, you might have a hard time getting your heart rate back down. So it's normal. The entire workout should take about an hour. So if you allot 40 to 45 minutes for weight training and 15 to 20 minutes for your intervals or your metabolic work at the end, you should be good to go. And if you think about it, when you're training these larger muscle groups, such as the back, you're burning through quite a bit of your glycogen or energy stores in the muscle. What's left after that? Fat. That's right. Intervals and metabolic work at the end of the workout on upper body days will help you burn fat and help you get to your goals faster. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Until next time, train hard, y'all.